Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 25. It is the biggest game of the season. It is rivalry week here, the Palmetto Series. We go to Clemson to face the Tigers. Pure hatred between these two squads. As a Gamecock fan, this is a game on the schedule you have to win almost every year, even though we don't. But unfortunately, we do have two injuries from the Wofford game. We're missing two wide receivers in this game. Gage Larvadain and Jared Brown will both miss this matchup. So we're going to be a little thin at wide receivers. So we're going to have to rely on a lot more guys to step up, including DeLe'Veon Campbell, who has a touchdown a couple weeks ago in the Missouri matchup. So we're hoping that he can get a little bit more volume this week against Clemson. But we're here in a Clemson Memorial Stadium. They're 6-5. We are 7-4 for the Palmetto Series as we are underway here in this one. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This will be the Tigers starting off with the football. You can see the last meeting in Columbia, 16-7. A defensive war between these two squads. And the Tigers are able to come up victorious. But we're looking to bounce back here. First play of the game, a free sack on Klubnik, who avoids the pressure and gets 8 through the air. Cade, you can see the numbers this year, 3,300 yards, 30-plus touchdowns. He's been very effective at quarterback for Clemson, trying to improve his draft stock. Here's the first carry of the day for Phil Maffa. He gets 15. 723 yards and 9 scores for Maffa this season as the lead back with no Shipley in Clemson. But here on the next play, he gets minimal gain. 2nd and 10, now empty. Klubnik, quick pass, and it's caught for a first down. It's going to be Troy Stellato, who's had a great season for the Tigers. He's got them out to the 35. As here's Maffa on the next carry, and he picks up 3 before being brought down by Gerald Kilgore. 2nd and 7, short pass. There's going to be caught by Antonio Williams, inches shy. He had 5 for 83 and a touchdown in Clemson's win last week against the Citadel, their FCS opponent. And on 3rd and inches, Maffa's not going to get it. Wrapped up behind the line by Judge Collier, who had the massive interception a couple weeks ago against Missouri. But Clemson will get on the board first with a field goal. And we'll see the Gamecock offense now take the field for the first time, as they'll start with a reverse to Campbell. Gets him the football early. He's not going to go anywhere, but we get a little bit of free yardage. Looks like tackled up high. That's going to be a face mask against the Tigers. They're going to get R.J. Mickens with the penalty. South Carolina came out a little bit tricky. As the next play, this was not going to go anywhere. A little bit of confusion. It is loud here in Death Valley. And a little bit of mix-up, and also it holds. So this play was all sorts of disaster as Trey Babaley gets called for the penalty. Now 1st and 20, Sellers dumps it off for Sanders, and Rocket gets hit hard, and he loses the football. It's picked up by the Tigers. Sanders, for the first time this season, coughs it up, and Avion Terrell will land on the football. And now Clemson gifted the ball in Gamecock territory. Not a good start for the South Carolina offense. As after a 5-yard pickup, here's a give left side for Maffa, who gets some blocks, and he picks up a first down. He's got 6 for 27 in the early going. Now to the 26, back to Maffa, left side. He's going to have some space, and he's going to find the end zone. Touchdown Tigers, 25-yard scamper for Maffa, and the Clemson team gives them 6 points right after the turnover, capitalizing, and they lead 10-0. The Gamecock offense already down now by 2 scores thanks to the fumble in the last drive. As here's Sanders rumbling for 4. 2nd and 6, Sellers keeps this one. That was not the call. Wrapped up for a loss of 3 by T.J. Parker. The sophomore makes it now 3rd and 9. As Sellers back to throw across the middle. That one's knocked down, and South Carolina goes 3 and out. Just been all Tigers in the early going here. Now they're going play fake from the 35, and this one's off the hands of Nick Emanwari. He leads the team this year with 5 interceptions, almost had 6 there. 2nd and 10, another free rusher on Klubnik, but he stays upright and delivers an absolute dime downfield. You gotta hit, when you hit Klubnik, you gotta bring him down. That's 2 missed sacks that resulted in big gains for Clemson. He keeps it here on 1st and 10, breaks the tackle. Is Cade really that hard to bring down? Gain of 13 on the ground for number 2. As he's out to the 32, here comes pressure from South Carolina, and this time they do bring him down. It takes the true freshman Dylan Stewart, who leads the team in sacks, to bring him down for a loss of 9. 2nd and 19, play fake. Klubnik off the wheel route, finds his man, and it's going to be a score. The true freshman with the touchdown, and Clemson is up 17-0. We're still in the first quarter, and it's a 3-score game. South Carolina has come out flat in the first quarter. As you can see the numbers there, a turnover, a 3-and-outs, and they have not been able to stop the Clemson offense. Now, fortunately, South Carolina does have the football back, but it's 3rd and 17. They just backed up to begin the quarter. They just try a screen for Sanders, and he's not even going to get close to the first down marker. Another punt for the Gamecocks. This one could turn ugly. Next drive for Clemson is going to be stopped. Minimal gain. 2nd and 10. Here comes a sack. Kilgore off the edge with the nickel blitz. Brings down Klubnik for a loss of 3. Now 3rd and 13 for the Tigers. A good chance to get off the field, but we cannot. Strike outside to Tyler Brown. That keeps the drive alive. You cannot allow Clemson to extend drives like that. They go no huddle. The next play, it's out right side, bouncing off a tackle before being brought down for a gain of 3. 2nd and 7. Klubnik back to the air, across the middle. Here comes a wide open man. It's the tight end, Jake Brenningstool, the senior, who will probably be a high draft pick in the upcoming draft, gets a first down. And the next play, that one's incomplete. 2nd and 10. Clemson to throw left side. That's a man inside the 5. Goal to go for the Tigers. Trying to get another touchdown today. They hand it off for Maffa, and he will not get there. Loses 1 on the play. It's Elijah Davis, the tackle for loss. I formation, 2nd and goal, handoff. Breaking a tackle and finding the end zone for a touchdown. Another Clemson running back in the end zone. It is 24-0 for the Tigers. This is the game we look forward to this season. Next drive for the Gamecocks, gain of 2. Clemson is so fast sideline to sideline. Next play, outside for Harbor. He gets involved, breaks a tackle. He races forward. It's the biggest play of the day for the passing offense. Out to the 44 now, out of the pistol. Here's Sanders. He fights and gets almost nothing. It's been hard running for him today. 2nd and 10. Sellers back to throw. He wants the deep ball for Harbor, who had a step, but it's incomplete, underthrown. That could have been 6. Instead, 3rd and 10. Sellers rolls outside the pocket, fires, has his man, but Harbor cannot hold on. Incomplete. Another punt for the Gamecocks, and another chance for Clemson to extend their lead. We're at the 2-minute warning with Clemson with a football. 3rd and 8 connection, the first down. To the 36. Blitz picked up from South Carolina. It's out in the flats, and Stellato will step out of bounds wisely, stops the clock. At the 25, empty set. Klubnik right side. That one's incomplete. Nice coverage by Debo Williams. 2nd and 10. Klubnik wants it all for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown Tigers. 31-0 here in the first half. It has been all orange here. Just an absolute embarrassing half for the Gamecocks here, who are now trying to get some sort of points in the first half. 2nd and 4, dump off for Sanders. That'll get a first down. Momentarily stop the clock. Gamecocks hurry to the line. Now a minute 10 to go as Sellers wants the deep ball for Harbor. He's got a step, but again, he cannot connect. Swatted down by Lewis. 2nd and 10. Sellers across the middle. Has Campbell. He holds on through the contact. First down for the senior now starting. Inside a minute to go, out of the pistol. Sellers dumps it off. Nobody checks short for Attaway. He tries to spin away. Should have probably gone out of bounds. South Carolina will hold on to 3 timeouts as they hurry to the line. Dump off for Sanders, who now checks in. He's trying to race to the sideline. He cannot, and now South Carolina will burn a timeout. 42 to go, 2nd and 3. Underneath center, Clemson with a blitz. It's dumped off for Simon, who holds on through the contact. First down Gamecocks, one of their best drives of the day. As off the bootleg, Sellers tries to get outside the pocket, and there's nothing there. Great discipline by Clemson. Try it again. Tight end screen for Simon. Again, great discipline. Only picks up 2. Gamecocks use their second timeout. It's now 3rd and 8 with 23 to play. Sellers in the gun. Rolls to his left. Tries to escape, but he cannot. Chased down from behind by Peter Woods. And that'll force a 3 try for the Gamecocks, which is good. So we get points going to the half. But it's 31-3 in this Palmetto Series matchup. Phil Maffa and Cade Klubnik have been absolutely insane for the Tigers here. As Klubnik continues to help his draft stock as a junior. He could go pro if he wanted to. We'll get back into the second half of this one. South Carolina does start off with a football, but they need 6 on this drive. It's a dump off for Campbell, who gets upended on the screen. Picks up 8, though, for a bad landing. 2nd and 2. Sellers tries to scramble, but he's quickly sandwiched. That's Woods and Capehart with a minimal gain. Now it's 3rd and 2. Sellers dumps it off for Campbell, who has a first down. DeLe'Veon Campbell has been very effective in this game. Maybe should have got more opportunities this season. As the next play, Sellers keeps it himself, and he picks up 9 with his legs. 2nd and 1 now. Handoff for Sanders. He's been bottled up here in the first half. Tries to get going as he picks up a first down. Next play, it's a pitch for Campbell, who ends around. He picks up 6, getting him another touch. He's got 4 for 32 today. 2nd and 4 now. How about another bubble screen for Campbell? His 5th catch, and he's got a lot of run to run. Out to the 28. Gamecocks putting together another drive as he's out to 5 for 47. In enemy territory, handoff for Sanders. He's met up the middle, picks up 5, one of his best runs. Out of the pistol, we go back to him, and this time only gets 2. As now it's a big 3rd and 3. What do? Clemson brings 5. They try it short for Gatling, and he's going to have the first down. Gatling's a freshman who's getting some snaps with the injuries today, and he gets a big conversion there. Pick up a 3 on the next play for Sanders. Makes it now 2nd and 7. As they give it to him again up the middle, he's going to run right into the heart of the defense. Maybe picks up 1, and now another 3rd down for the Gamecocks. Going for the right side. A great catch outside. Beautiful throw by Sellers. Gets it to Gatling. And now it's goal to go. Sellers out of the gun. Throws it and gets intercepted. Picked off in the end zone. No. Will anybody catch him? Even Harvard cannot, and that is a 102-yard, I'm going to say 98. He was clearly in the end zone. Pick 6 for Jamal Anderson. Any momentum the Gamecocks were building was just absolutely squished with that one play. It's now 38-3, and you can just see the wind out of the sails of the Gamecocks. South Carolina just can't wait for this game to be over. His 2nd and 14. Sellers tries to make something happen. He puts the ball on the ground. Clemson again with it. And we're over halfway done with the 3rd quarter. And this is the first time Clemson's offense is taking the field. They hand it off to Maffa, 1st and goal. He picks up 1 before being brought down. Now in more of a traditional goal line set. Handoff Maffa. He puts the ball on the ground. Oh, but it's picked up by Clemson. That could have been a big help for South Carolina. Debo Williams with the force. And now it's 3rd and goal, trying to at least keep it to 3. As Klubnik, buying as much time as he can, dumps it away. So Clemson will add 3. It's now 41-3, still in the 3rd quarter. As the next drive, Sellers gets intercepted. Picked off by Avian Terrell. Read the slant route beautifully. And Clemson adds another highlight to this game. Inside 3 minutes to play now in the 3rd quarter still, as Clemson with good field position. This is only the 5th play they've run from offense this quarter, and they've added 10 points somehow. 3rd and 7 off a miss. Klubnik looks right side. That one's incomplete, so at least we force a punt. It's like the first one we forced today. But it's 41-3. This game is basically all but over, so it is all but over. As we'll go a little bit faster here in the 4th quarter. Clemson does have the football after a Gamecock punt to begin this quarter, and there's a loss of 2 for Klubnik. Clemson surprisingly still has all their starters in. I mean, it is Dabo Swinney, so I can't really say I'm surprised. As here's Phil Maffa with all sorts of running room. Gets it goal to go. Clemson trying to put up 48 right now. As from the 3, they go empty. They're not even trying to run it. Why not pass it? Touchdown Tigers. Jake Brenningstool with another one. Excuse me, that's Troy Stellato who gets his 16th touchdown of the season. 48-6 now. Gamecocks did add a field goal. As now the backups are in for the South Carolina offense at least. This is Robbie Ashford, the transfer from Auburn this season, who has been backing up Sellers. He's getting a chance to shine, as here's a free 15 given by Kylan Griffin. Ashford led a field goal drive last drive, then here trying to lead more, as here's outside for Gatling, who beats the defender outside and has a touchdown. So a good couple of drives for Ashford. Gets the Gamecocks to at least 13. And that should be the final score, right? Wrong. Clemson has no sort of intention to kneel it, even though they could. Dabo is going to go for the 50 burger, and he gets it. Great sportsmanship, Sweeney. I love when you cry about that when other teams do it. But they just come out and do it here as Clemson wins 55-13, just absolutely hammering us in this year's edition of the Palmetto Series. Out of all the games, we picked our worst game to play. We picked this game. Like, we couldn't have played this bad against anybody else. It's got to be our division rival, or in-state rival. Can't wait to hear about this one the rest of the year as Clemson gets their 75th win of this meeting and this matchup. Just an absolute destruction at the hand of the Tigers, or the Gamecocks will look to at least try to end with the bowl game after falling to 7-5 on the season. Clemson will improve to 7-5 as well. As Sellers got picked off 2 times, just not a good game for the Gamecock offense. Just absolutely flat turnovers, could not move the football. And the defense, I mean, they didn't play great either, but they didn't get any help. We do get some bad news on the recruiting front as well. Leo Homer, a 4-star recruit from Atlanta, Georgia, has decided to go to the Bulldogs. Can't really blame him. This was always going to be an uphill battle, but it would have been nice to add him to our recruiting class. It's not all bad news, though, as we get to our top stories. Ohio State, they lose to Michigan 38-28 in the biggest game of the season. Michigan comes out on top again. Colorado upsets Oklahoma State, and then we see Texas A&M fall to Texas in a major upset. Here are the scores around the week as we see on some action. Toledo beats Akron, and then Tulane knocks off Memphis. Nebraska victorious over Iowa denies the Hawkeyes a bowl game, and then UCF beats Utah. Miami, Ohio beats Bowling Green. Texas State now in the top 10 squashes South Alabama 55-14. We saw Colorado get the win, and Michigan beating Ohio State. They're now the number 1 seed, but these two teams will meet in 2 weeks in a rematch in the Big Ten championship game. Maryland knocks off Penn State. Purdue over Indiana. Texas, we saw them get the win over the Aggies, trying to deny the Aggies a playoff berth. Miami beats Syracuse on the road. Kansas now in the top 10 over Baylor. Middle Tennessee State gets a win on the road against FIU. And then Navy, one of their rare wins of the season over East Carolina. More AAC action. UAB is now ranked with a victory. And then USF knocks off Rice. The Owls have really tumbled after a hot start. App State beats Georgia Southern. Southern Miss in the Sun Belt beats Troy. And then we see Eastern Michigan over Western Michigan by 2 points. Georgia squashes Georgia Tech by 20. Notre Dame over USC on the road. A big win for the Fighting Irish. Northwestern gets a 2-point victory over Illinois. Minnesota gets hammered by the Wisconsin Badgers. And then Rutgers bounces back with a win over Michigan State. They stay in the top 10 and keep their playoff hopes alive. And the Iron Bowl is Alabama, who knocks off Auburn. That gets the Crimson Tide Bowl eligible. I can't believe it took this long. Tennessee victorious over Vanderbilt. Wake Forest with a big dominant win over Duke. And we see Boston College over Pittsburgh. The Eagles get bowl eligible. Kansas State over Iowa State. And then Florida Atlantic over Tulsa 42-32. We saw Jacksonville State get a win as well. And North Texas over Temple. Out west, Wyoming knocks off Washington State. The Cougars with a very bad season. Old Dominion over Arkansas State. Northern Illinois over Central Michigan. James Madison with a win over Marshall by 4. And then Kentucky knocks off their in-state rival by only a point in a close one. Cal beats SMU in an upset on the road. And then Houston also gets it done against BYU. Liberty, they try to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're ranked 12, so they could get in at a large bid, surprisingly. Virginia Tech is victorious over Virginia. Missouri over Arkansas. TCU over Cincinnati. Texas Tech now cracks the top 10. They beat West Virginia 42-24. NC State's tumble continues all the way from 2-24 as they've lost 3 straight, dropping that one on the road against North Carolina. Florida State finally gets bowl eligible to win against Florida. Oregon's now at 3rd. They beat Washington. And then in a big game, the SEC, biggest game of the week. How about Oklahoma destroying LSU 52-35? We also see Mississippi State win the Egg Bowl by 4. Boise State with a win over Oregon State. Louisiana Monroe over Louisiana. And then more rivalry matchups. We see Utah State over Colorado. And then California teams UCLA with a dominant win over the Bulldogs. Arizona over Arizona State. Stanford loses to San Jose State. A big win for the Spartans to end their year. UNLV over Nevada. And then Hawaii with a 2-point win over New Mexico. Here's a look at your current college football playoff. Michigan moves to 1. Ohio State only tumbles to 5. Still very much in it. Rutgers jumps all the way up to 8. And then Texas State's at 9. Liberty's at 12. So we have 2 group of 5 teams in the top 12. That'll be interesting to look at the playoff. As you can see, a lot of the teams ranked, including Clemson, back in at 20. Only one game this week is the Army-Navy game, so we'll simulate the week and then take a look at that score. And here's where the good news happens. We do get a couple of recruits this week. 2, starting off with halfback Monty Sorrow, who's a power back from Flowery Branch, Georgia, a 3-star commit. We had him late in the cycle just to get some more depth, and he commits to the Gamecocks, so another one to the class. And then we also get my favorite guy of this week, Deshaun Heap, the 3-star corner from right here in Columbia, Dreer High School. He stays close to home. He is a gem. Dreer is also the Blue Devils, so they have the exact same jerseys as Duke, so that's why I'm using Duke here in this clip. But Dreer High School, we get their corner in Deshaun Heap. He doesn't have amazing ratings out of the bunch, but he is a gem, so I'm looking forward to seeing his recruiting just impact trait. And maybe he can develop and get better because he will not be asked to play it right away. But just as to a recruiting class, the only game this week, Navy gets the win over Army 13-12 and a lot of running in Maryland. And here's a look at your conference championship games. They're all set next week. We'll go through them in the next episode. Liberty against Western Kentucky, a big game for the Flames. In the Big 12, it'll be Houston and Oklahoma State. While in the MAC, Toledo and Central Michigan. This is a big week, though, for championship games. A lot of Power 5 teams that wouldn't be in the playoff have a real chance to shake things up. In the Sun Belt, it's a massive game for Texas State. They really only got to win one more, and they make it the playoffs. In the AAC, UAB is going up against North Texas. The Blazers trying to get an outside shot being that group of 5 team. In the Mountain West, we see UNLV in New Mexico. But in the SEC, 2 Georgia will play unranked Texas. Yeah, somehow Texas got in at 7-5. A massive chance for the Longhorns to shake things up. And the same thing in the ACC. North Carolina with a big chance. They're unranked. They got 6 Miami in North Carolina. So if Tar Heels can win, well, that shakes things up. But obviously the biggest game of the week, the Big Ten rematch, Ohio State and Michigan for the championship in Lucas Oil Stadium. Because right now, here's how the bracket looks. It is crazy what I'm looking at. Texas State with a bye. Georgia the 2, Michigan the 1, Miami the 3. I mean, this is a out of nowhere bracket. I mean, you're talking about a Big 12 team not getting the pass instead of going to Texas State. So it'll be interesting to see the conference championship games. We'll go through those next episode, kind of recap the season and see what the playoff looks like and see what bowl we go to, because we did finish 7-5. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Sorry we got absolutely squashed by our rivals. We'll have to make it back next year. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.